Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Rome. It is that time of the morning. Yes, it is coffee time. First cup of coffee for the day. Let's get right into this. I am still getting questions about my motovlogging setup. So what I decided to do today is go through a very detailed video as to how I set things up and why I chose to go in the direction that I did. So starting out, if you guys watched some of my previous videos, especially with the GoPro Hero 5 Black, the first problem that I had when I purchased the camera was that I did not have the proper mount, meaning the helmet mount, in order to get the camera far enough away from the chin at an angle so that I would have good coverage of some of the bike, but most of the road. And one of the tools that one of the accessories that you'll really need is going to be this J hook. And if you've had older GoPros and things like this J hook most likely came in one of your kits. But if you did not, then the next option is you will have to buy a J hook kit, and those you can get on Amazon. I got a set of them, which is two. A couple of days ago, I got them on Amazon for $11. And this comes with a J hook and two extenders facing in the same direction. The reason why that's important, that they're facing in the same direction, is because it gives you more control when it comes time to level your camera and position it the way you want to. So if you look at it from this perspective, let's get a little bit closer. These are both facing in the same direction. So when you adjust them, however you decide to adjust them, they'll always be facing in the same direction. One of the disadvantages is that the tightening bolts are facing in opposite directions, but that's something that could be easily remedied by buying the bolts you can get at Home Depot or one of the hardware stores that replace these, that'll bring your bolt a little bit closer to this point right here so that you don't have so much sticking out, and you'll have to use an Allen key at that point to adjust them. So I guess in many cases having this thumb bolt is going to be a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to adjust, because once you have this in position, it'll pretty much stay in that position the entire time. So ideally, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the ability to adjust the camera from the helmet a little further back. So when the camera is attached to your airplane's flying overhead. Yeah, I live not too far from the airport out here in Katy. But anyway, when the cage is attached to this, you wind up with something similar to this. So easily enough, you can adjust the camera into whatever position that you want. Now, if you're riding a cruiser, most likely your camera is going to be facing straight on like this, which is not a problem. With just that, you could use just a J hook, or possibly just a J hook and a slight extender if you need that. But for most of us who are riding sport bikes, that's a different dilemma. So for us, we need our helmets, cams, to be slightly back. And this is an exaggeration, but the reason why it's so far back is that when we're in the tucked or riding position, which is usually like this, then the camera's in the right position to actually record the video showing some of the bike and most of the road. If you're going in the opposite direction, say like that, more upright, then what you'll wind up recording is more of the bike. So the objective here is to position the camera in such a way with just enough room and just enough angle so that when you are riding, you're able to capture a significant amount of your bike, maybe your gauges, your mirrors, whatever you want, however you want to frame your video, as well as, for your audience and your viewers, the road, the surrounding area, the things that they're going to see, from the capture of your video. So that's how I set up this GoPro Hero 5. This same setup would work for any camera, even a smaller body camera. So if I went with, say, I applied, I added the session or something like that, it's going to be almost the exact same setup, but it will have a slightly smaller profile, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the helmet, and let me grab one of the mounts. Here's a good one. Now this mount, like I said, I showed you guys last week, with this little clip, I use it kind of like as a body clip or a cap clip or something like that. But if I add just this mount, oops, got that backwards. Let's throw a little bolt in. Doesn't have to be perfectly tight. So now you can adjust your other camera or a smaller camera to do basically the same thing. So you're in your riding position. So let me put the camera in there so no one will be confused as to what I'm showing you. So now if you're riding and you're semi-tucked or in a tuck position, the camera is going to be just like the GoPro Hero 5 Black. You'll be seeing a lot of your bike as well as the majority of the road. Now, don't forget that when you're setting up your camera, you have to choose what field of view your camera is going to be recording at. Whether it's super view, whether it's going to be wide, medium, narrow, linear, it just depends on, your preference. So that's one of the times where you have to spend a little bit of time getting to know your camera, getting to know your camera settings, and going through those settings, and maybe even getting out for little test rides just to get an idea as to what's going to work best for you in those different scenarios, So as an example, if you're going to be out and let's say you're going to be blogging and you're going to be out talking to people and you want to be able to walk around with your camera, like I said before, these clips come in really handy because you can just attach it to a ball cap, or you can attach it, to a vest or a jacket and have the camera mounted and just walk around and talk, and it's going to give you a pretty good angle to capture all of your footage. Now, another option would be attaching your camera to something like a pistol grip. And basically what happens here is that the pistol grip has a standard tripod thread. So what you're going to need there is you will need a tripod adapter which screws onto this part here, and then from there you would mount your camera like so, and you could walk around holding it with the tripod mount. The other option that I found that works really well for me is a combination device that I found this probably a couple of years ago. And this is also a pistol grip. But what's unique about this pistol grip is, one, you can adjust the angle of the platform where your camera sits. And also, this pistol grip converts into a tripod. So that's always really cool, where you could just set your camera up and you could have it placed like so, or in the opposite direction, or at any angle really, especially if you're going to do like your little drive-by videos, your ride-by videos, or if you're out doing some stunting, or you're doing something where you want the camera to be able to record without having to have hands on it or something like that, especially if you're out recording by yourself. But the other advantage is, like if you're going to parties, you're going to events or bike shows and things like that, and you want a really easy, comfortable way to walk around with your camera once you take it off your helmet or off your bike mount, and just be able to walk around and capture footage and have somewhat of a control with it, this is a really good option. And these are very, very inexpensive. This one here kind of has a plasticky, rubbery feel to it. I remember when I first got it, you know, one of the things that annoyed me was it had this really, really strong oil smell, and that's probably from the manufacturing. But, you know, after a while that smell will go away, or you can, you know, maybe get something and clean it and, you know, wash it or something. You know, just be careful. You don't want any of the internal components to start to corrode or something like that. So, but I think I paid possibly $10, you know, for this, you know, little tripod stand. And this company is Boer, and I mean, you can find this online. Just Google it, you know, or go to Amazon and look for, you know, mini tripods by this company name. The pistol grips are very, very generic. I have a number of these, some that I use for my pro cameras because of the long lenses and things like that, and I'll attach those so I have better control of the camera. But you can find these pistol grips on Amazon for probably as little as, you know, $10, $5, things like that. You know, just look for a deal. So that's pretty much it, guys, you know, on most of my setup. You know, I do have other cages that I use, like if I want a really low profile on the bike or something like that, I'll use this because this will just be facing me right above my windscreen. You know, so it really depends on what it is you want for your camera, what you want for your video, and if you envision how you want to see it, there's always going to be some accessory that will help you get that job done. Hopefully this will answer a lot of those questions. If not, for some reason, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer any additional questions, and feel free to subscribe and share this video, and I will catch you guys in the next video. It's your boy Rome. Peace. I'm out.